Well, it's official. Matthew Lillard is returning to Scream 7 as Stu Macher, but not in the way that I wanted him to.
Houston, we have a problem here.
We just got confirmation that Roman Bridger will be making a return into the Scream franchise, and people were wondering how is he going to come back if he died at the end of Scream 3. Now, Roman is quite different to Stu because Roman 100% died. He gets shot in the head. He was definitely dead. So the rumours were, is Roman coming back as somebody else, as in is Scott Foley coming back to play a different character, or is Roman just going to come back and be alive, no questions asked? But I done a video yesterday about the possibility of Roman not coming back as a new killer or being alive or even being a different character played by Scott Foley, but Roman going back in the past in a flashback, de-aging Scott Foley, showing him, Billy, and Stu planning the events of killing Maureen Prescott, leading on to all the Scream franchise. Now, with the news of Matthew Lillard coming back as Stu Macher, I believe that my theory on that means that it's definitely going to be happening. Now, the reason that I'm kind of upset about that is because if they are going to announce that Matthew Lillard is returning into the Scream franchise, this tells me, and I'm pretty sure it's obvious, but this tells me that Matthew Lillard isn't coming back to be Stu in the real world, being alive and being a secret killer. This tells me that because they're announcing that he's coming back, it's only going to be for a small role. And that small role is most likely going to be him with Billy and Roman talking about planning the death of Maureen Prescott and then planning going after Sydney Prescott. The funny thing is, I always had it in my head before Tara and Sam were axed from the franchise, I always had it in my head that Scream 7 would begin with Casey Becker being killed with her boyfriend Steve, and then we get a reveal that Billy, Stu, Roman, and a fourth person is involved in killing Steve and Casey. So it's kind of similar to that, only Tara and Sam won't be involved anymore. So I don't think their mother would be involved, which is what I thought was going to happen. But with Sam and Tara being out of the picture, then her mother won't be involved. So I've got a funny feeling that it's just going to be about Roman, Billy, and Stu, but I don't think it's going to be involving Casey and Steve anymore because this movie is going to be mostly centered around Sydney Prescott. Then I've got a funny feeling that this flashback that I think is going to happen is going to involve Maureen Prescott. There are other theories out there that people are talking about. Somebody mentioned in my comment section that I don't think anyone else has mentioned is AI, that and within the story, the killer is going to implement AI to tease Sydney Prescott. So they might show themselves as a young Stu Macher or a Roman Bridger or a Billy Loomis. Hopefully they don't do that, but that is another idea that somebody has mentioned. I think other ones are going to be nightmares, that Sydney Prescott is having nightmares of all the previous killers. Hopefully that doesn't happen either, because I feel like that would be forced, because she never mentioned having nightmares in Scream 4 and she never mentioned having nightmares in Scream 5. So why would she start having nightmares all of a sudden now, unless the events of Scream 5 triggered something for her? That could be the reason. However, nightmares, we've seen them done time and time again. I think the most plausible way to bring a character back is to de-age them in a flashback. But of course, for me, I think that Roman, if he's back, which he is, if he's coming back, then make him a flashback. But with Stu Macher, I just wish they didn't use him as a flashback only. There is still a chance that he will be there as a flashback. And when we go to see the movie at the cinema, we'll see Matthew Lillard reprise his role as Stu in a flashback. And everyone in the audience will go, so that's why Matthew Lillard came back. And then at the end of the movie, it could be revealed that he is the Ghostface killer.
Surprise, Sydney.
So never rule it out. Never say that Stu is definitely dead. But with this news being public, I've got a funny feeling that the chances of Stu being alive have just been slimmed that little bit further. So what are your thoughts on that, guys? Now, this might not be the last video regarding this. In a couple of days' time, maybe somebody else is going to be reprising their role, like Emma Roberts might be coming back. We might see Charlie come back. And if all that kind of starts happening, then I think that flashback idea might turn into the nightmare idea with Sidney seeing all these previous Ghostface killers as being the killers again. So I think the opinions and theories might change over time, but that's my opinion and my theory just now, that Stu, Billy and Roman will be in this movie, played by the original actors, but just de-aged, just showing a flashback moment of them planning killing Maureen Prescott and then planning the attack on Sidney Prescott. That's my theory anyway, guys. But what are your theories? Do you like my theory, or do you have a theory of your own? Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
These days, you gotta have a sequel.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back seat!